Hey folks, Quill18 here, and welcome to the start of our third and final season of Ayr United in Football Manager 2017. Wasn't sure if we were going to do a third season, but a lot of people had requested seeing us play in the Scottish Premier League to see how it goes. Probably, it's going to be rough. We're going to hope to avoid relegation. That's our entire goal for this particular season. I will not be showing everything in the entire season. We'll be doing a few games early in the season, and we'll do a few games maybe later in the season when the drama gets maybe a little bit intense and a little bit tight. And the reason for that is Football Manager 2018 is right around the corner, and I've got to say, it's very likely that for the average gamer, it may not be worth purchasing 2018, because there's not necessarily going to be a massive number of changes from 2017. And so if you've got an existing season going on, you may not want to cancel it and go to the next one right away. But I'm very eager to see some of the new changes. Some of them look actually very, very exciting, and it'll give us a great opportunity to perhaps use everything that we've learned in these, well, now 3 seasons as Ayr United and apply it to a different team somewhere else and see what we can do with that, which I think would be excellent. Then we get to mess around with, any changes that might have happened to the match engine and all kinds of different things and just see how the mechanics have changed. But we will be playing a little bit of it. Again, it's going to be a rougher season because we did, of course, get promoted to the Premier League. Unlike real Ayr United, which actually dropped down to League 1, I guess, in real life, but or League 2. Hold on. Yes. Because we were in the championship. We promoted to Premier. The real life one demoted down to League 1. So I played through a lot of the just the preseason stuff. Let's bring up the schedule over here. Some friendly matches and some cup matches. You can see we actually haven't done that well. Partially because I've been trying to implement a few different strategies and see how they're going. And we're having to get up a lot of familiarity with a lot of those things. So, yeah, we actually had a pretty bad showing with a few. A lot of these was a lot me trying to cycle in our secondary players just to try to get the sharpness up sort of generically across the board a little bit more and a little bit more manageably. We did just barely scrape by the group stage of the Betfred Cup over here. 3 times we went to penalties. 3 freaking times we went to penalties, losing twice in penalties, winning once, and it was just enough to get us in the next round. So we will be playing Motherwell in the second round of the Betfred Cup over here. But today is our very first match of the Premiership League over here, and we're playing Falkirk at home. Now, the teams we're going to be facing are mostly going to be a fair bit better than us on paper. You can see here, Falkirk, for example, their team is worth about 5 times as much as ours is in terms of average player value. Although clearly we don't do very good wage management here, and we're spending way too much money on our individual players because our per week wage is very, very similar to the same. Although our player value may go up if we start to perform fairly well. We'll see how it goes. So yeah, things on paper are probably going to be a fair bit tougher. We'll see how we can do. But that's why I'm going to be whipping out the 5-3-2 narrow composition over here. This is something that was designed to be fairly defensive. 5 people in the back line sitting fairly far back. We're not playing a defensive midfield or anything like that because we've got the 5 in the back, but we do have 2 people set to be ball-winning midfielders on defensive mode. So really, if we can grind out a bunch of 0-0 draws, we'd probably consider that to be a fairly good win for us overall. Up at the front, we're going to go with the 2-striker pairing, the classic sort of target man and kind of poacher kind of thing with McGuffey. I will say that I have been really enjoying this particular comp. This has actually done fairly well for us against some of the weaker teams. One of the things that did develop, over the course of the season, we had a particular strat in mind, but online people determined more and more that the 2017 version of the match engine was quite vulnerable to a well-concentrated presence in the middle, as opposed to earlier versions, which were all about crossing. So I don't know. We may not be able to take advantage of anything particular like that. I think this is going to be good to do this. I've actually had a few games go fairly well with this composition, and so I think it might be a half decent chance. Now we do have a few people out. We've got Andy Gigan is suspended because he pulls a lot of cards because ball winning midfielder and aggression and all that. Ryan Stevenson and Nicky Devlin are both currently injured, which kind of sucks. Although Ryan doesn't really fit into this structure, he really fits into the other one quite a bit more. So we're gonna give this a go. We've had problems with our goalkeeper and some injuries as well there. Alexis Savage, who's very, very good goalkeeper for the league. He was injured for a bit. We had to start Alan Mermelade for a while, and he turned out to do a pretty good job for us. It doesn't have quite the same rating as Alexis, but pretty decent. And then we have James Brown there as a backup as well, who, again, you can look at his rating for the last 5 games, wasn't doing too terribly shabby. I mean, no one was over 7, but overall okay. Gary Fraser's been doing okay over 7. Jamie Thomas has been phenomenal for us. Again, we were pretty sure that picking him up for the team would, in fact, be a huge success, and that has worked out very well. Craig McGuffey's still having some difficulty there. Part of me is wishing that we had sold him. Again, if we were playing this sort of for real, planning for the franchise, selling him last season for like $300,000 to a really good team would have been absolutely the correct move to do. But we, for emotional reasons and for story continuity, we decided to keep Craig McGuffey to the end of the season. And he did help us get to the premiership. So, don't get me wrong, that might have been okay there, but I think realistically we would have sold him off there. And if we are playing in this comp here, McGuffey doesn't really have a spot to play. Tom Pope's still not doing stupendous. I mean, again, the rating sort of maybe implies a little bit more, but it's been kind of rough for him, so we'll see how it goes. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and start with this composition. We're going to be playing with counter mentality, despite the fact that we're playing at home. We're assuming a sort of siege mentality over here, that we're going to be in a rough spot. And yeah, Robbie Crawford does lack some match sharpness, which might be a little difficult in here, because I think there were a couple of injury issues and things like that. He didn't get a lot of preseason play. Hopefully we'll do all right. So, not much of difference, they say. Falkirk a slight favorite. I don't know. Magat's going to take the captain's armband because McGuffey is out. Yeah, he's a natural choice, sure. Yes, we've got a great start. Everything's going to be going okay. So Falkirk's going to be playing a standard sort of 4-4-2 over here, although you can see there's a little bit of offset here for, I don't know, maybe we've got like deep line playmakers or something. I'm not exactly sure. Actually, I guess far back like that might represent a ball-winning midfielder if you look as a comparison, although we don't know for sure what they're necessarily going to do over here. Terry, can you apply the advice to the team? Weaker foot, hard tackling on the striker. I'm a little leery about doing that because I'm always worried about just drawing penalties inside the box here by doing that, but keeping him tightly marked is probably okay. How fast is this guy? We don't know exactly. He looks to be pretty fast, but it's probably still worth trying to keep a fairly decent presence on him, and we do have enough people in the back that it should be okay. Revenge is most of... Sure, you know what? We're going to say, like, assertively over here, go out there and express yourself. People have pointed out that it probably... Even though it sounds like it means, like, go out and kick some ass, it's actually a little not so much that. We'll do our passionate. We've got more coming from you. You can see that this is actually boosting our morale a fair bit, which is really nice to see. Awesome. Yeah. Okay, so we're in the green for this. Morale wasn't fantastic coming in from some of our Betfred Cup matches, but seems to have bounced back a little bit. We're going to start with possession over here. Crawford sending back. I think there's going to be a fair bit of this, because of the counterplay. There's going to be a lot of... Oh, I just realized I had this on key, and I want to be... You know what? We'll go comprehensive for this. We'll get lots of coverage. Because of the counter thing, what we're going to do is probably linger back a fair bit with the ball and then try to send it forward when we see something. So far, possession's been fantastic. For all I know, we're playing this way too passively. 3 shots on. It sucks that we did miss probably some of the highlights the first bit because we're just set to key. But there should be a lot more. Of course, now it's doing a highlight with Falkirk in position. Has me very concerned for this cross. Gets deflected away. Lammy with the golden head clears the ball. This guy, I still say that's one of the greatest purchases that we have done on our team. Wow, that was... I gotta say, that was really impressive on the other side. But to finish the thought, Lammy, I'm still super keen to have gotten that. That was pretty disappointing there. We definitely got outplayed on the defense. 18 minutes in, and a really wonky free kick there, giving us possession. All right. There's still 60-40 in possession. We've drawn 5 fouls already. Listen, team. Sort of, like, calm down. Try not to draw so many fouls, because this might lead to badness. Robbie Crawford sending it forward to Craig McGuffey, who's hanging a little further back than his poacher kind of thing might imply. I still like Craig McGuffey in that false 9 role, but it doesn't really fit into this particular formation, I think. Thomas sends it back to McGuffey, who has a bit of an opening. I mean, on target, but maybe too on target for McGuffey, since he just hoofed it directly into the goalkeeper. Ralston trying to clear it away. Caleb Crane sending it far forward over to Jamie Thomas, who sends it to Crawford. Very good. Crawford could probably go to McGuffey. He's got a fair amount of space around him. Yep. McGuffey is there. He's not going to be able to send it any more forward. Now, Thomas is really lingering up there. Might be able to find an opening. Crawford again to McGuffey. Oh, sneaks it over to Thomas. Oh, just slightly wide. Couldn't tell from the camera angle. I thought it might have actually snuck past the goalkeeper into the net there, but apparently not. We're slightly leading on shots. One clear-cut chance didn't go anywhere. I think that might have been the McGuffey shot there, which was, yeah. He could have probably been a little bit more creative on his shooting. Still one of the weaknesses that we have with Craig. His finishing isn't quite there. A lot of his raw physical stats are great, though. All right, Robbie Crawford over to Jamie Thomas. Thomas back to Crawford. Wide to Caleb Crane. Can he get across? Well, it's going to be a goal kick, and I can't complain too much about that. Who's taking this over here? I know it's not Ryan Stevenson because he's not there. Oh, Fraser. Yeah, that's fine. See, maybe Lammy can get his head on there. Lammy definitely tried. Craig McGuffey goes back, picks up the ball to Crawford, who takes a shot. It's deflected off a couple of bodies, and presumably going to be another corner for us. It is, okay. Wasn't sure who it deflected off, because the goalkeeper didn't get anything on it. If it happened to deflect off an Ayr player, then it would have just been a goal kick. McGuffey using his speed again to control the ball, keep it in there. Tries to hoof it from a long distance away, which is really not his strength, but, you know, I appreciate the variety. We have no specific instructions applied here. Nothing at all. We're just using the de facto one. Just because with the sort of counterplay, I don't think play-out defense is necessarily the right way to do it. If they can hoof it forward to Jamie Thomas, it's probably okay. Might lose his possession from time to, but it's going to be okay. And in any case, I think with counter, they're going to be maybe a little bit more conservative. Some of that nice play there. Thomas in a nice open lane for the pass. He is forced to send it back because he was a little bit boxed in. What is that? Ebu Adams, I think. Moving it forward to McGuffey. He's got to send it back to Crawford. Having a hard time. A little bit of offside risk over there for a second. Adams to Crawford. Can he find a way to send it forward? Tony Ralston. Adams back to Crawford. Sends it forward to Ralston, who is going to be able to set up for a cross. Oh, gets intercepted. But Jamie Thomas is in a good position for that. And, in fact, a couple more opportunities there. Ooh, unfortunately, Ebu Adams could not quite get it to the ball on time, allowing Falkirk to start on the offense here. That is some pretty... Maybe I should drop down to one level because we're only 24 minutes in, and my voice is not going to last. But it's been really exciting. McGuffey, I think that may have knocked off someone's boot just ever so slightly there. And lost a little bit of power. 34 minutes in, we have outshot them 10-3, despite this sort of counter mentality and the 60-40 thing. Now, I mean, this might be a sign that we actually should be going a little bit more aggressive if we've got so much control over the game. On the other hand, things are going well, but they might start to adapt. They might start to tweak things to adapt to what we are doing. I wonder if we could do something really dramatic, like change to effectively what's our 4-3-2-1 kind of comp here. The pyramid scheme of scoring. We might be able to do something dramatic like that for the second half. I don't know if I've got the substitutes set up for that, and if it's going to use all our subs just to get it going. It feels like some of our shooting is slowing down, though. I mean, not so good. Honestly, I don't feel that... Yeah, you're looking frustrated. I'm not going to yell. I'm going to say we can still come out with a win. Just try to, like, get them excited here. I'm disappointed with the quality of finishing. I think that's a fair thing to say. I feel like the midfield's actually been doing fairly well. You know, I'm impressed with how you're controlling the midfield. And the defense also hasn't let a whole lot of stuff there. Solid defending. Yeah, I was going to say, you never praise these people. It never works out, and some of the ratings are pretty low, but... All right, we'll start the second half. Just out of curiosity, if I were to go to this... All right, you would go there. Gary could take on one of those roles, and that would be okay. Yeah, we probably have to do some stuff, some subs. Bring on Daryl Fortis, for example. Probably have to sub in one of these guys. That's 2 subs, and then we get to change to something pretty interesting. I'm going to give us... You know what? I'm going to go until maybe the 60-minute mark, as is. I might get rid of the counter mentality. Let's go to control. Our possession's great. Our pass completion has been good. Let's be a little bit more aggro here, especially since we do need to even things up. Okay, that's 60 minutes. Not a whole heck of action. Certainly our shots on have been slowing down. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and do this. We might want to keep Darryl McGatt on. Yeah. And Ricky Lamy. We'll get rid of Tom Flanagan. So Jamie Thomas goes there. That's fine. Tom Flanagan we're going to sub out completely. Paul Kearney's slightly more comfortable in the role, but not much. He's been playing better and his morale's better, but his sharpness is low. We got to bring in Daryl Fortis. I think that's going to be okay. And then, all right, I was going to bring up Gary Fraser here. He's pretty tired, though. Maybe I just bring in Paul Kearney and get ready to sub Gary Fraser a little bit later. Maybe we just do this. I kind of like it. Now, is everyone in their more preferred role? I think we do something a little bit closer to this. I mean, Gary Fraser's just good in all the roles, but yeah, we'll get you to do something a little bit more like this. Okay. And we're still in the control mentality. So we're going to try to be a little bit more aggressive, change up our scoring system. Depending on how people are marking and closing in on people, all their instructions have basically just been invalidated pretty significantly. And we're showing them something very different here. Now, whether or not this will work, whether or not it's insane, we will see. I'm surprised at how well that's going. Maybe I'm undervaluing how good our team can do in the Premier League over here. Free kick. Crane's getting a yellow card. We still have one more substitute left. Honestly, the rating's gone up in the second half. Maybe because of the aggression. Because we had a lot of 6.4s at the half. Now we've got a lot of people sitting at 6.7, 6.8. We just need to, score. Oh, we went to standard because when I changed tactics. Right. Please go to control. Which we have practiced, I think. I'm not sure. I'm hoping we have. Lammy gets it forward to Fortis. Centers it to Fraser, who's a playmaker for us. Sends it up to Thomas. Over to Fortis, one of our shadow strikers in this particular comp. Shots might be coming from a little further away with this, but I think it'll lead to some pretty good success, except we've lost the ball here. People might be sitting a little too far forward and enabling a few things. I don't know. We've had 3 clear-cut chances and no scores. Okay, we've got 10 minutes left. Let's consider our last substitution. Fraser definitely getting tired. Let's bring in Ross Doherty here. And do that. Again, we kind of need the playmakers. We need people to set it up. Oh, we are on the offense, though. Fortis, Fraser, Kearney is going to have to get rid of the ball. Gets to Fortis. No real openings. Kearney does get a little bit of room to actually take a kick, but it does go wide. There was a lot of screening elements there. Even if it had been a bit more on target, probably just would have bounced off someone. Pass completion rate has been 80% this game. Possession has been great. I'm happy we're turning up the juice here. We actually might need to go even more. Like full on attacking. There's only 9 minutes left. And I mean, at this point, it doesn't matter how much we lose by. It's a league game. So, another long shot. Slight deflection, which is going to lead to a corner. Might open up a few options here. I don't know if we're properly set up for the set piece takers and things like that. Lammy does get a head on, but unfortunately goes well too wide. I mean, that is the perfect combo that you want, though, right? Is you want the corner to Lammy and hope that it goes in. Crawford getting pretty tired there. 2 minutes of extra time. I don't think I'm going to go full overload. I think that might be a little too crazy and a little too far away from what we have practiced. 19 shots on. Can't get it in the goddamn net. Come on. We got just over 2 minutes left. Get it in there. Let's go. Okay, we've got... Oh, we're about to get a whistle. Can we finish the play? Nope. Down by 1. I have to say, like, the stats we ended up with on paper have been pretty good. I will go ahead and yell at the team. This is a home game. We'll be fairly aggressive about it. We'll do that. Try to fire them up. So, unfortunately, we lose our first opener of the season. But it actually wasn't that bad. I'm shocked. I'm very, very surprised at how well that went. I think it shows promise for this, and I feel like this thing has some promise in here as well as, you know, switching up between the two. Whoops, I meant to stay here. What's the difference between these two? Oh, this one doesn't have the play-out defense. You know what? I will lock that one onto control, make sure we're properly practicing a version of it with the control. Is the actual positioning, ball winning... we'll do the full defensive version, and this one here we might go and turn them a little bit more into support, because it's the idea of, like, aggression as opposed to defense. Might be a little too heavy on some of the support. Actually, this is also incorrect. That might be a little too much. I mean, we want the support for the crosses, though. Maybe I will leave these two on a more defensive role and open up a little bit more aggression from the sides. I don't know about going to attack or anything like that. But they could be played as wingbacks, like on both sides. So in our more aggressive stance. So this is the more aggressive stance. The midfielders hang back a bit, but we're ready to go for more crosses. Whereas here, our flanks, and this should be just a regular defensive wingback. Defense. Oh, right, that's still this version over here. Yeah, and actually having the full defense over there is good. So we've got a variety of things to potentially counter whatever we come up with. But yeah, the 4-3-3, I think we turn that on when we actually are hoping to score a little bit more, because it's certainly more aggressive, and this one here is set up to counter. It's got the structured shape. This is a little bit more flexible. It does mean we have to train a few more things, but I think, barring the changes I just made, I think, like, our familiarity is really high. Like, you can see it just dipped a little bit on that. Again, I copied it from one, so it's got the wrong name, but it's really the 4-3-2-1 over here. Yeah, just a little bit in the mentality. But the 5-3-2, we're super, super comfortable with. So we can probably turn down the match training, balance it out a little bit more like this. That's going to be okay, because you want more match training to work on those tactics. We'll do something like that. We still get to do... You know what? I'm going to go this way. That's going to be fine. Yeah. So we got a Betfred Cup against the Motherwell guys over here. It's just a second round. So again, what are we going to televise? I don't know how many we are going to televise. I'm going to skip a few in between. They'll be mostly home games because, you know, it's appropriate. So you don't have full season tickets this time. And we'll see what we can do. But hopefully, our goal is to avoid relegation. So obviously we don't want to come in 12th because that would be automatic. If we could come in 10th, then we wouldn't even have a relegation battle. If we come in 11th, then what we end up having to do is we have to beat the best team from the Championship League, because that's the one that's going to be making it. Well, it's actually the second best in a sense, because the best one from the Championship auto promotes. This, and then the second, third, fourth get into a playoff tournament, and whoever ends up sort of at the top of that, I play against. So we'd still be able to get there by beating a Championship League team, which is really still what we are. So basically a team on par with us, which wouldn't be great. If we could end up 10th, that would be good. I'm really disappointed that we didn't win this Falkirk game over here, because it feels like that was probably one of our good chances to do that. We are predicted to come in 12th overall. Like, the media is predicting that we come in at the bottom of the pile. And I can't blame them for that prediction. Well, I think that's a little bit rough. Some of these injuries, it's not going to help us either, though. I don't know, man. I don't know. Well, thank you very much for watching. There is going to be some more Football Manager overall. Again, a little bit more Football Manager 2017 with Ayr, and then we switch to 2018 with something else. Make sure to get in your votes for that. Should we play like a super high-end team? Should we play like, I don't know, like an Arsenal, or maybe whatever the top German or the Belgian team? We can go back to, is it Anderlecht or whatever? We could go something like that, really really high up, or we could go and play a super low tier team and try to build up again, which has its own fun. What was nice about playing as Ayr here is that it's pretty low tier, but still a professional or semi-professional team, right? People are getting paid, and there's things like that, as opposed to a purely amateur one. I've played one of like the purely amateur teams before, and it's really annoying because literally no one has any contracts, so people keep like jumping in and out of every single team, and it's like, what? This is stupid all the time. Like, there's not a weird like, there's like kind of like no transfer rules or whatever. It's just there's so much just constant swapping because no one's on any kind of contract, and I find that very annoying. So maybe, I don't know. We'll see. If you've got any suggestions, leave them in the comments. I really want to start this off with a win. I'm actually super disappointed. And again, on paper, we were doing so well. We'll see how it goes. Thanks for watching, folks. See you next time.